Hello and welcome back to Second Take Movies, a podcast where we give movies a second look, second chance, a second take, if you will. I'm your host, Preston Jenkins, and joining me is my co-host, Jake Twido.
Yeah, your intro sucks compared to mine.
That's how you do an intro. Just letting you know.
Yeah, that's way better. What's up, man?
I'm back.
Thank goodness. We're not getting canceled this week.
It's mine again. It felt weird.
I really was like, how is Preston going to feel about this? Because I would be so weirded out of nothing, of just you experienced it with everybody else.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. We were talking about, the only other critique that I would add is you didn't fade in and fade out the videos.
Oh, shoot. I forgot to do it. I was so pumped. I was like, oh, man, this thing was good. Yeah.
Because it just like jumps in there. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, wake me up, baby.
That's this week we are talking about Collateral.
Collateral.
No one pisses in a jar in this movie.
No one, thank goodness. And that means this movie's not that great.
Yeah, it means Tom Cruise being fucking awesome in this movie.
Dude, I remember seeing this. I saw it in theaters.
I did too.
And I remember going like, that's Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
That's Tom Cruise. Perfect. I'm sold.
Yeah. The story of Collateral, a cab driver finds himself the hostage of an engaging contract killer as he makes his rounds from hit to hit during one night in Los Angeles.
I forget this is all one night.
Yeah, it's all takes place within one night in a taxi. Our positive review, Peter Rayner from Vulture. Most of the time we are with Cruise and Fox, and their interplay is never less than galvanizing.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds like it's awesome.
Yeah. Sound like he...
Galvanizing. Pipes. Nice.
Bill Gallo from the Dallas Observer, with our negative reviews...
Sucks.
says, suffice it to say that Cruise never seems right in this part. Never as treacherous as he should be, nor as mysteriously tortured. Fox has his moments, but there's no room for his trademark humor, and we can never quite get our minds around the idea that the hitman has beguiled the cabbie. Wasn't supposed to be humor, my guy.
Yeah, I think that guy missed the point.
I know Jamie Foxx was typically known as a comedian at this point in his career, but that doesn't mean he has to be funny in every movie.
Yeah.
Why do you want him to be funny? It's a crime thriller. Why does he need to be funny?
He only does comedy, bud. Once you do one thing, you can only do that.
That's all you can do.
Ryan Reynolds, he can only do romantic movies. He can't do anything else.
Well, no, he can only do Deadpool movies now,
yeah,
and only work with Sean Levy apparently. Jeez,
that's crazy.
Man, those pictures,
you sent me the picture.
Hugh Jackman in yellow. That's wild, dude.
I was nerding out, man. I was like, this is the greatest thing I've seen all day.
Just
fantastic.
Don't touch that Logan movie.
Yeah.
Let it alone.
I'll give them one joke about it.
Okay.
And then let everything else go. But I bet it's going to be way separate.
Yeah. This movie begins with Jamie Foxx and his characters in a cab. He drives a cab for a living, and he's dealing with the various passengers he picks up in Los Angeles, which are not, a lot of them are not the best people.
No, and he either likes his job or at least takes care of his stuff.
He probably doesn't like his job, but like tries to do the best at everything he does. That's the vibe that I got. Like, even though he hates his job, he wants to do the best at it. And he finally, towards the beginning of the night, we'll call it, picks up Jada Pinkett Smith. Keep her name out your fucking mouth.
It was her. I forgot it was her, and I was going, oh, okay. Oh,
we better not mention anything about Jada Pinkett Smith, or Will Smith will find us and slap us.
I wouldn't dare. She has hair still in this movie. We can go deeper, bud.
Oh,
I
wow.
can do better.
I think
Yeah, but what is she? Is she a U.S. She's a U.S. attorney,
she's
right?
an attorney for the Department of Justice.
Okay.
And she has an argument with Jamie Foxx about which way is quicker, and he ends up being right because why wouldn't you trust a guy that drives through those streets all night? But,
Yeah. Yeah. Strike one, Jada Pinkett
Yeah.
Smith.
But he eventually gets the digits. He gets the digits from Jada Pickett. I don't even know if her character has a name. Probably does.
I wrote it in my notes because I said it's Annie Farrell.
Annie Farrell.
Doesn't, I don't know. I guess that works.
Yeah.
Does he tell her about his dream that he wants to be own a limo company?
That's the first time we hear about it.
Yeah. Early on. Okay.
He tells the story about he's trying to get some money together to create an island experience inside of a limo. Then we're introduced to our other character, Tom Cruise as Vincent, the hired assassin.
Which, when I saw this, like you couldn't watch previews on the internet.
No.
And trailers.
Yeah.
I didn't know what this movie was. My dad and I just were like, all right, we'll go see it. Tom Cruise sat down and it's like, oh, Tom Cruise is in this movie.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
And I wish that he would do... I feel like he should do more roles like this.
Yeah.
Like, I wish he would work with... I wish he could work with a director and not take control of the movie.
Yep. I mean, I think when he does his own stuff, it's great. I mean, I'm not going to knock it. But,
yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean,
he could do so much cooler stuff.
But you also can't argue with the results of a Top Gun Maverick or the last, 4 or 5 Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah. It's pretty hard to.
Yeah. But there's for every, several one of those, there's The Mummy.
True.
Where he
very true
makes people do a zero gravity stunt that lasts 10 seconds in the movie.
Can cost I don't know how many millions of dollars.
It's I don't think that's what The Mummy is about, Tom.
Well, didn't he do did he direct American Made?
I don't.
He's a drug flyer. He's an airplane pilot that flies drugs.
Oh no, that was Paul Greengrass.
Yeah.
That was the guy that did the good Jason Bourne movies.
Yeah. So that was good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
hadn't seen it. It looks good. I hadn't seen it.
Ooh, yeah. It's real good.
But he's he picks directors that he can I think he works with them pretty well, but ones that he likes and he can kind of get his opinion in there more. I don't think they mind it because it's
Tom Cruise.
It's Tom Cruise. You just have to know how to deal with him, and I think him and McQuarrie have figured out that relationship pretty well.
What is he gets in the car. His name's Vincent, no last name.
First he bumps into
He
bumps into our good friend Jason Statham at the airport, who is playing his transporter character. Because Tom Cruise was a big fan of the Transporter movies.
We should have had a movie with the two of them.
I would pay big money for that.
That world and this world, go.
Yeah. And Jason Statham drops briefcase, and Tom Cruise picks that up, and he heads on his way.
Does he offer him $600 to drive him for the night?
He almost doesn't pick Jamie Foxx's cab because Jamie Foxx is sitting there kind of distracted, and he almost goes to a different cab. But Jamie Foxx calls him back, and it's like, no, don't do it.
Yeah, you wish he did though.
Yeah.
That's the dumbest. Hey, I've got some real estate deals I'm doing tonight. Who's doing real estate? I don't know. I guess people do real estate deals at night, but
I mean, it's probably not uncommon in
a
place like that. Is you just come in and do your thing, and then you head out the same night. I mean,
Again, I try not to say this a million times. There's nothing like the first time I watched this of, like, what is this movie?
Yeah.
I had no idea. So they ride for a little bit and they go to the first stop. And a daggum body lands on the taxi.
And, Jamie Foxx, he doesn't, clock anything as suspicious at this point. And then a body comes flying out the window and just slams right onto his cab. And he starts freaking out, of course, as any normal person would. And Vincent comes
Then
down.
Tom Cruise walks out like himself, just dead in the eyes. And
what?
What's wrong?
He fell. Come on. Calm down.
Put him in your trunk.
We can't leave him here. We got to put him in the trunk.
But he tells him straight up, like, okay, I'm a hitman. You're taking me everywhere tonight. Is that a problem?
I'd be like, honestly, I'd be like, you're going to have to kill me right now because there's no way.
Yeah.
Take the cab or just kill me. I don't care.
Well, that was the thing I couldn't figure out is like, can he, like, why doesn't he just steal the car? Or, I don't know.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, I guess to throw off, I guess he does that in every city to just throw a suspicion off of him. So because later on, the cops have this theory that because this happened in a similar city where a cab driver, they say a cab driver killed a bunch of people, and Mark Ruffalo, who's in this movie later, thinks it's a hitman kidnapping these cabbies to use them as a decoy.
Yeah, and speaking of Mark Ruffalo, he gets introduced there. Him and Peter Berg, right?
That is Peter Berg, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I was like, wow.
How many movies have we done with Peter Berg now? As a part of it, I feel like this is like the fifth or
probably the third one, I think, because he wrote. Oh, what did he write? He wrote something that we did recently.
It's gonna bother me, man. I got to see it.
I feel like he wrote The Rundown.
I think you're right. I think it was. Yeah, it was The Rundown. He was the director.
That's right.
And The Losers. He wrote The Losers. That's where.
So
it's fresh.
We've got the trifecta of Peter Berg.
Yeah.
He directed The Rundown, wrote The Losers.
Executive producer on Hercules.
Ah.
Ugh. I don't want to think about that ever again.
Ugh.
And he was in Smoking Aces.
Smoking Aces. Okay.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's it. But, so throw the curveball even more. So they're detectives, a narcotic detective.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that Vincent just killed was a police informant.
Mm-hmm.
So suspicions are very high now of something's going on.
He's like, oh, he just fell out of his apartment. He fell out of his apartment and died and then crawled away? What Mark Ruffalo brings up. Like, what are you talking about? He's not here.
My biggest problem with this movie is I remember the set pieces, but I don't remember what happens between them. I mean, I think it's just Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx in the taxi.
The majority
talking about jazz.
Yeah, it's the majority of the movie kind of makes you feel isolated in the cab with the two of them and their different back and forths. I think the next stop he zip ties him to the cab.
Yeah, in the alleyway.
Yeah,
where the guys come up to help him, but they're gonna rob him. But more importantly, they take Vincent's briefcase. Dude, him coming out and talking to them, that was the most hardcore thing. I mean, it was like, whoa.
That's what I like about Michael Mann's directing style. Like, everything feels like it's real. Like you're just standing there right next to him and it's happening right there.
So I have a friend that does handgun training, and he used to do it for, I don't know what military. I'm sorry, can't remember. And he was like, we watched that scene to show people how to do a tactical draw. Like, Tom Cruise did it so well. We watched that scene, and we watch I haven't seen it. There's a scene in Heat where Val Kilmer is reloading a weapon, and he's like, "We watched those two, and that immediately tells you everything you need to know." It's like, oh wow, that's good for Tom Cruise.
If Tom Cruise worked on something, he's gonna get it right.
Oh yeah. If Tom Cruise wants to jump out of an airplane without a parachute, he's gonna do it.
Yeah, like, and they even talk about, like, he puts 2 in the chest and 1 in the head.
Yep,
millimeters apart.
You know what the scary thing is, Preston? He actually shot those guys and they filmed it. That wasn't effects or anything. They're dead. They are dead.
Oh, come on. He's not Alec Baldwin.
Oh, I was going to make a Scientology joke, but yours is better.
I think mine's a little bit darker.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Since you said it, there's no way he should be guilty, right?
There absolutely should be a way that he's guilty.
Okay, I don't know the whole story.
There's several people at fault. It starts with the armorer that was on set. It was her first movie, but she is responsible for all the firearms on that set. And Alec Baldwin should have had some safety training to know. First of all, it was during a rehearsal, so there's no need for him to pull the trigger.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
And secondly,
that makes it worse.
She should have gone up there before the rehearsal. Like, her job is to, like, take the gun to the actor and show everybody that's behind camera where he's going to be pointing, hey, it's a cold gun. Because it's supposed to be a cold gun, meaning, like, there's nothing in it, for that shot that they were doing where, like, it's pointing directly at the camera. So he is liable for pulling the trigger, in my opinion.
Was there a live bullet in the thing?
Yeah, it was a real bullet. Yeah.
I don't understand how that happens, but
the theory is that there were, like, crew members that were using the guns for target practice out in the desert. But there should have been no live ammunition on set. That's the other thing.
Oh yeah, that's like a rule number 1, man.
Yeah, and that's the problem with being in charge of something like that, is it's eventually the blame is going to fall on you. Like, even if other people, they might get in trouble, but you're also going to get in trouble too. That's the risk you take and the responsibility you take on.
He got off though, right?
I think he's being sued by the family.
Yeah, and if I was him, pay. Just pay.
Yeah.
Like, dude, whatever. Don't fight it. Just pay.
Yeah, dude. Like,
you've got money.
Yeah. That wouldn't never see that movie.
They went back filming it.
They did?
They did.
Ooh.
I think that it could have been a joke that I read, but
I hope they didn't.
Hope not.
But anyway.
Yeah. So they go to the morgue. Mark Ruffalo, Peter Berg, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Next, because they're trying to figure stuff out. The thieves are there, and so is the second guy, because they left the body.
Yes.
So I forgot they left the body and put like, in there. But that's when it's this is a hitman. Like you said, they're millimeters apart.
Yeah, it's like, these gunshot wounds are very similar. And
the guy that the target was a criminal lawyer.
Yes, they
was like, oh,
because that was the second stop, was like a criminal lawyer that was up in a penthouse. And then the dispatch calls again, because he calls, and, like, Tom Cruise, like, gets Jamie Foxx to kind of stand up for himself, because the dispatch found out that they had wrecked the vehicle, ran into a deer, because they got pulled over by the cops earlier, and he kind of talked his way out of it. But they call him again because Jamie Foxx visits his mom every night, and she's been calling, trying to figure out where he's at. And Tom Cruise is like, hey, you go every night, like, you have to be seen so they're not looking for us.
Yep. Yeah, you got to keep your life going.
Yeah. And so Jamie Foxx nervously takes Vincent to see his mother, and
oh shoot, no. Before that, they go to the jazz club.
That's right. That's the third stop.
Go to the jazz club that's the go to the jazz club, and he's like, I have to kill that guy. And Jamie Foxx pleads for him not to do it.
Yeah.
But he has to answer a question about Miles Davis.
Because, they have this whole long conversation about Miles Davis, and Tom Cruise is just waiting for everybody to leave the club where it's just them.
And then he answers it right.
Yeah.
But he still shoots him in the head.
Yeah. Because he's got a job to do.
Yeah, that's when they go to the hospital after that.
Yeah.
That's the third of them.
That's the third one. And so Jamie Foxx, during the course of visiting his mother, steals Vincent's suitcase and runs away with it. And Tom's going to sprint.
Throws it to the freeway, right?
Yeah. And if you've ever seen Tom Cruise in a movie, you know he's going to sprint. Like, he's going to go all-out sprint, perfect form.
He's going to cut the air with his hands.
And he was in his 40s in this movie.
That's wild.
Yeah. He's 61 now.
I was going to do the math. Like, that's wild.
Yeah. It makes me sad.
Yeah. Yeah, it really makes you depressed.
Yeah. But, so after that, Vincent makes Max go and see the head of the cartel at his club because nobody knows.
He's got to get the 2 other hits.
Yeah, he's got to get the rest of the information to get the last 2 hits because Jamie Foxx threw it off the freeway. Why he doesn't just kill Jamie Foxx in that moment, I don't know.
I don't either, because
it feels like that's a killable offense. But I guess the purpose was he needed a decoy to go in for him to get the information.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of.
He conducts his business in anonymity. So Jamie Foxx goes in there and kind of plays a tough guy pretty good. I guess he's been stressed out.
Not bad at all.
Just been stressed out enough the whole night that he just plays it off pretty well.
I got to drop a nugget on you here.
Drop a nugget.
Do you know who's supposed to play Max?
Uh-uh.
Adam Sandler.
Huh. Yeah.
Yep.
I could see that.
I think it'd be all right.
I could see that.
Whenever you watch Uncut Gems,
Uh-huh.
I think it's the name of the movie, it'll be like, okay.
Because
could have been.
He could definitely play like a little neurotic and nervous, and
yeah,
he's not as handsome as Jamie Foxx, so it could be a little bit more believable too.
Well, Edward Norton got offered both roles.
I could see Edward Norton as Vincent.
I could, but once you see Tom Cruise, it's
once you
done.
see like the way Tom Cruise handles a weapon, it's like, oh no, like he's
yeah. The only other last consideration was Cuba Gooding Jr.
as for Max.
Yeah, and Michael Mann was like, "You've already worked with Tom Cruise and Jerry Maguire. We can't do that." The only reason you didn't get it.
There's these weird rules that some filmmakers have, like because George Lucas was adamant he didn't want to cast Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones.
Yep.
He's like, I worked with him enough. Why? I've never understood that. If you like working with somebody and why don't you want them? Because James Gunn almost practically casts everybody from one movie to the next, almost.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me, but anyway.
Sorry, there's your little tidbits.
Little trivia.
Some fun. He goes in, does a good job. Do they go to the nightclub after this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's like a Chinese guy that they have to kill. And
I don't even want to accidentally say his name because I feel like I'm going to really be a little racist.
And they kind of shoot up the club a little bit.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was in, man.
Because somehow the cops figure out they're headed there.
There
was a group of cops waiting outside the club that Jamie Foxx went in to get the info. Like they're staking out this club where Felix is at.
Yep. And they think that Max is the hitman though, because he went in.
Because he went in as Vincent.
Yeah.
And Mark Ruffalo was like, this guy is a cab driver and he's got no priors or anything. Like, that doesn't make sense. Why is he's not a contract killer? And they figure out that they're going to kill the Chinese guy, which is an informant for the other cops that are watching the place. I don't know what division or anything they are.
They're FBI.
FBI, well. That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
And so they figure out that that's where they're headed. So all the cops mount up and head that way, and they all get in the club. And Mark Ruffalo eventually gets Max out of there, but then Tom Cruise is waiting outside and just blows him away.
That whole scene of him shooting Mark Ruffalo. It's that wonderful, like, oh, he's gonna make it. Like, things are gonna get
nope.
And that's when, like, Max cracks here.
He loses
and starts questioning him. Yeah. Then he crashes that cab, which apparently Jamie Foxx really crashed that cab.
It looked like a real car crash. Like,
well, the best thing is, I remember Jamie Foxx doing press junkets about it, and he's like, my favorite thing about the movie is I accidentally crashed this taxi cab. It was really bad. He said, I was behind Tom Cruise, and everybody ran to check on Tom Cruise. Nobody stopped and looked at me. It's like, well, it is Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise costs more money than you, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this movie's kind of about you, but that's Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah. And I don't think Jamie Foxx was quite the Jamie Foxx he is now at this point.
No, definitely not. God, what is the next, like?
Well, after the crash, he sees the thing, like, well, the cops find the body in the trunk because that's still there. And so they start to arrest Max because Tom Cruise runs away. And he sees in that little file that he got that the last person is the woman from the beginning. It's Jada Pinkett Smith. And so Tom Cruise sprints over to that Department of Justice building. And then Jamie Foxx subdues a police officer and runs over there too and steals a guy's phone and calls her. And she's working in she's not in her office. She's working in a different part of the building. And Tom Cruise, like a shark, is making his way through the building and makes it to her office and doesn't find her.
Dude, what a bad man.
Yeah.
That whole time I was like, dude, Tom Cruise is so rad. This is great.
Like, the intensity on his face and determination is like, But he figures out she's talking on the phone on the 16th floor by her office phone because she's forwarded her phone upstairs, I guess. Dude, the flip phones in this movie. Oh, I was so nostalgic.
Yeah. They make some new flip phones now.
Yeah, there's like they brought the Razor back. And
I mean, I don't know if I'd want one or not. But I'm like, man, sometimes I hate having a phone with stuff.
Yeah.
But I also love it because I can easily search anything. But
yeah. Samsung has like a flip phone.
I think that's the one I've seen.
Yeah.
The Samsung one.
I hate the folding phones. Like,
yeah, I don't get that. I don't get it, man.
I don't need a tablet with my... And when you fold them up, they're like twice as thick. How am I going to put that in my pocket?
That's... I don't know. I think they're years away from that being realistic at all.
Yeah, like they tried it a couple... Like Samsung had one a couple years ago, but they had to recall it because everyone was peeling the screen off. Because it looked like there was still a screen protector and people were peeling that off and
forgot about that.
Peeling the screen off the phone. But anyway,
does Vincent? So Max gets there. Does he shoot Vincent once and just wounds him?
Yeah,
and then do they get on the train?
He shoots him in the face, and then they get out of the building and they make it all the way to the subway, and Vincent's right behind them. And
yeah,
they do get on. They get on the subway and hide from him, and he. You think they get away from him as the train goes away, and then he jumps across the subway, and jumps on the train on the back that they got on, and gets in from the back.
But eventually, Jamie Foxx shoots him, and he just dies in that seat.
Yeah. And I was watching it with some
Movie
friends last night, and they were like, well, that's a bit anticlimactic.
Yeah, I forget how. I don't know. I think it fits the movie.
Yeah.
But just he's gone.
I mean, the thing about this movie is that it was like it felt like real life, and that's how this whole thing would go. Like there would be no grand finale. It would just like you shoot the bad guy. He's not invulnerable, so like you shoot the bad guy in the chest, he's gonna bleed out on a train. And
yeah, but this movie flew by though.
Yeah,
it's just like you sit down, it starts, and then I think that's the other reason the ending's so jaunting, because it's just like
yeah, because this movie is constantly moving through the whole thing, and then all of a sudden has like a hard stop on like a finale in a subway.
And I think it's good on Michael Mann, because Spike Lee, Martin Scorsese, and Spielberg were all going to do this as well.
Wow.
I don't think it ended the same.
No.
At all.
Like, again, I like his style so much, because like a lot of his over the shoulder shots and the way he moves the camera around characters, and like physically a very dark movie.
Yeah.
Not just in theme.
It's all at night, and it feels like it's at night.
It feels like they
you're
used
talking about
like the natural light that was around.
Yeah.
Good movie.
Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. It's definitely one of my favorite. I'm not gonna lie. I watched like half this movie, and I watched the second half, and I was like, I know this time maybe back and forth. I've seen this like 30 something times.
Yeah,
it's solid.
I just watched it again to help me remember what happens.
Yeah, and like I'll say, like that's the only negative thing is it moves so fast that it is hard to like track at times.
I give it a 9.
You know what? I'll do that too. I'll happily do that.
Or just a really well-made movie that keeps you interested through the whole thing.
But what if Russell Crowe is Vincent? Or Leonardo DiCaprio?
Leo ain't gonna do a movie like this.
He was considered for it, but had to turn it down because he was shooting The Aviator.
So he probably would have done it.
I think he would have done it.
I think he could have done it.
Yeah, that'd have been interesting.
He's intense enough to do it.
Russell Crowe was gonna do it, but he couldn't. He kept delaying it because he was making a movie called Eucalyptus that Nicole Kidman was in with him. Oh. It's an Australian film project. It never released, I believe. It like wasted a ton of money and stuff.
And that's Tom's ex-wife. So
yeah, I've got one more Vincent role that was attached for a long time. Well, it's 2 actually. I'll lie. John Travolta.
Ugh.
Colin Farrell.
Huh?
Yeah.
They would have never let him use his Irish accent, but
God, no, because you'd have to put subtitles.
Which when he's talking naturally, like I can understand him. So like I feel like Vincent could have had an Irish accent, and that would have been just as effective. Does it say who else was considered for Max besides Adam Sandler?
That's what I was wanting to see, because I wrote it in my notes, and then I'm gonna look at the. No, I don't see anything of who it was. Jamie Foxx, and then I think Adam Sandler. I think after Adam Sandler wasn't picked, Jamie Foxx was kind of they're going for it.
Okay. Well, that's Collateral.
Yeah, that's some Collateral. So stupid.
Yeah. Now what are we watching?
The Bear, man. The Bear.
Is that really good?
Oh, so good. I mean, it is. it is intense. I mean, it's not like,
Because I know it's about a restaurant, so
yeah, it's just subpar. It's, well, not subpar. It's great. I still have a fever, so I can't think. It's great. The writing's really, really well. The acting's really good. It's just different.
Okay.
To me, it's what Ted Lasso. Wow, my gosh, I can't even
Ted
talk.
Lasso.
Ted Lasso could have been this. It's not as funny. It's got funny moments.
Yeah. I didn't think
but
it was a
it's
comedy.
No, it's like a drama with a little comedy.
Gotcha.
But it's intense. But I think I'm going to finish season 2 tonight, hopefully. But other than that, I bought a new game called Battle Bits. It's 3 or 4 guys made it. It's just like Battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever play any of those. But it's just a little indie game. But they've made like $50 million in the past week on it.
Dang.
I think it's the biggest selling game on Steam right now. And it's pretty fun. It's just chaos, but that's pretty much it, man.
Well, I seen...
You saw a ton of crap,
Yeah.
man. I was mad. I was like, dadgum.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Guardians came out on digital recently. A Man Called Otto with Tom Hanks.
I watched that as well.
It's a very sad, happy movie.
Yeah, I didn't mind it necessarily.
No,
just
Dial of
I was like, my brain was like, it's Tom Hanks.
Yeah,
just
the Dial of
exactly
Destiny. Everybody's crapping on it right now, but it was fun.
I figured people would rag it. It'd just be a pretty good movie anyway.
Yeah, like it's not perfect. Like it doesn't touch the original 3, but it's better than Crystal Skull. Anything's better than Crystal Skull.
Oh my gosh. Watch your words. That was a perfect movie.
That was shameful.
Exposed wires hanging stuntman and all.
The ending, like the third act of Dial of Destiny, just like, oh really? Okay. That was my reaction.
It's yeah. I need to see it. Yeah. I know I hope I catch it in theaters, but I'm just waiting for Oppenheimer next week. And that's it.
Oppenheimer. I'm not going to see that in theater. I'm going to wait on that.
Dude, I might go see it in 70 millimeter IMAX.
You should.
Have you seen a picture of this yet?
No.
Hold up. You'll understand why I'm saying that. I'm not just a random film nerd, but let's see if I can find this picture.
It's like an actual IMAX though, not just a big screen.
This is a 100% legit IMAX crap. Come on. Okay, finally found it. And of course, they don't have the picture that I need. Hold up. Sorry, you got to. I mean, you'll see it and just be like, "Oh my gosh." I sent it to someone. I'll send it to you after this. But basically, the film for this movie, Preston, is 11 miles long.
That's what I heard.
And it weighs 600 pounds. I saw a picture of it on the projection. It is wild. But it's a 2-hour drive, a 3-hour long movie, a 2-hour drive back.
Sounds like you got your day planned.
Yeah, it's worth it, but
to see from what I've heard is a very depressing movie.
Oh man, I know. I've read the book and researched that whole. Yeah, it's gonna be. Oof.
Because I think
then I'm gonna go see Barbie after.
Just cleanse your palate.
Yeah, definitely.
Barbenheimer.
Barbenheimer. Yeah, I've loved seeing like people like walking out of Oppenheimer and like, I can't finish this.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted. Let's go.
I think he has an affair with Florence Pugh's character, and his wife is Emily Blunt. I think
that's right.
Because everybody was mad about the age difference between Cillian Murphy and Florence Pugh, and it's like.
But no one's got a problem with Leonardo DiCaprio and his people in real life. Exactly.
When he drops them after they turn 25, you know.
Can you drive now? Okay, go back.
Go. You can rent a car now? Ugh.
What's God, what is that actor's name? Plays Huey on The Boys.
Jack Quaid.
Jack Quaid. Jack Quaid plays one of my most interesting people that I love reading about. It's a physicist named Richard Feynman. So I'm halfway going just for the 5 minutes that he's probably in it. Like, yeah.
It's a pretty stacked cast from what I saw. I was surprised at the amount of people in it.
Yeah. I'm just happy for Cillian Murphy.
He's been a background player in a bunch of Christopher Nolan movies, and now he's front and center. Anyway,
it's gonna be good.
That's it for this week. Speaking of Oppenheimer, we're doing Tenet next week in honor of
I can't do those sound effects.
Oppenheimer, which I'm a fan of Tenet. Like,
oh, I am too. I thought it was incredible.
Everybody hated it, but we'll see how it holds up next week. If you have a suggestion for another movie we should do, you can send that to secondtakemoviespod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram and now Threads. We're on Threads.
Yeah, put your clothes on.
So yeah, that's it for this week. We'll see you next week with Tenet. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, crap your pants.
Any closing statements?
Yeah, crap your pants.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.